You right there watching this video, waiting for this live stream to start, or just watching the membership video, man, and why you should join the membership. Let's talk about it real quick, expeditiously. We got the 3 levels. You got the rookie level, got loyalty badges, you got custom emoji badges, and you have members on the live stream. As we get more people flowing in to join the membership, I have members only live chat. That means everybody can see the video that want to see the video, but only members will be able to chat. That's $3. That's a rookie. The All-Star, you get personal shout outs before the videos, maybe after the video, mostly likely before the videos. You give a priority to reply in the chat. So as soon as I see you, I reply before anybody else. Get early access to pretty much all my non-boxing videos there, $10 a month. Then we got the boxing pound for pound superstar for all my boxing boys and gals out there. Get early access to prediction and most of our boxing content, virtual video collaborations, and open debate. So, you want to pre-record or go live and debate me for a whole video, you got early access to new videos, some of the videos in the All-Star as well too, and priority reply in the comments. So I see in the comments you get priority reply. No instant, that's $20 a month. So let me know what you guys think. Don't have a Patreon no more, so here's where you're gonna get some of that exclusive content I used to have on the Patreon. Peace. All right, give me 1 minute. All right. Hold on. All right, make sure we're good. My bad, y'all. All right, we good. My bad, man. Bear with me real quick. Getting this together. Appreciate everybody that's in the building. We're gonna talk about Keith Thurman says that Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence holding up the welterweight division. WBC president has Canelo still pound for pound. Yeah, buddy. All right, I think we on the road. Salute, D Young. Salute. Say you look tired. I don't know. I just got done for walking the dogs. That's all that is. Make sure they get their exercise and stuff of that nature, man. But then we got some technical difficulties over here, but we good now. Don't forget you can listen to the replay in the morning. It's probably gonna be a little later in the morning. I think a little bit closer to midday than the morning, which is that the processing tool I'm using for the live stream. It take a minute for it to process. So by the time I wake up and do everything I gotta do, man, it'll be about that time. So, but we got the podcast on Amazon, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Anchor, obviously. So it's 4 ways you can listen to it. I'll be adding Apple Music sooner than later, all right? So you can listen to it on Apple, whatever the hell they calling it. I'm not an Apple guy at all, but platform will be on there. If you got any other way, so you like to listen to it, hit me up, and I add it to the rotation. Does this dude realize he's held division up for 2 years? Exactly. He was on the PBC podcast talking about. I mean, I don't know, man. He even said he was 188, 188 pounds, bro. I was gonna talk about Broner and Floyd, but I mean, y'all really want to hear about Broner and Floyd? I mean, I don't know. Hold on. Do we really want to hear about Broner and Floyd? I really don't care, but this would be my little one sit on Broner and Floyd. Now, apparently, Adrien Broner is reaching out to help for Floyd Mayweather I really don't care. His career been over with. He wasted his prime. Um, I don't know. I can't say he wasted his prime. I think he made the most out of his career because the first time I actually seen him fight was with against Daniel Ponce de Leon, and I felt that he lost that fight, and a lot of people felt that he lost that fight. He got a gift. So, I mean, Adrien Broner has got away from being at what 130, 135. He's got away with being a bigger fighter and just getting away on size. He moved up to the welterweight division, had another what if fight with Marcos Madonna. I mean, with Paulo Malignaggi, got obliterated by Marcos Madonna. So, I mean, he can ask Floyd, man, ain't too much Floyd can do but financially help him, and that's it. He fighting because he need a check. It's as simple as that. So it's not really even to go in detail here. This ain't nothing but an intention to get some eyes on him, or Floyd ain't return his calls, and he trying to get Floyd to return his calls through the internet. So I mean, ain't nothing to talk about. That's it. So Floyd's supposed to be like a mentor to him. He's supposed to be like the next Floyd Mayweather. He just didn't have the talent, the discipline that Floyd Mayweather had, and that's the difference. Not as talented, but nonetheless, I'm not gonna spend a bunch of time on that. So apparently, he been bitching and complaining. I mean, on multiple articles saying that he threatened to move up, and he should. He should move up because his moving up make a lot of sense for Keith Thurman. If he can get a belt up there, he got a better chance of getting a belt up there than going through Jerron Boots Ennis. How about that? He got a better chance of moving up and getting the belt up there than messing with Jerron Boots Ennis. So it makes a lot of sense for him to go in the welterweight division, leave it, try to get a belt, and try to force Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford to fight him at 154. Beat them to the spot, I mean, it don't really matter. They want you to fight Errol. I mean, they want you to fight Jerron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz, Emmanuel Stionis, and those type of guys. I mean, for what? They're making the weight comfortable. You killing yourself to make the weight. He even said in this article in the PBC podcast, he said that he ballooned up to 188 pounds while sitting on the couch, and he just recovered from COVID. And also what he revealed in this article, which we'll read again if you didn't see the video earlier, he revealed that once again what we already knew, that the PBC doesn't have the dates. He wanted to come back in the summer, and they couldn't accommodate him with a date. And he said, well, you might come back late summer. Now he said it's getting pushed to he says now it's getting pushed to the fall. So come on. So he says that I had a roller coaster and I was trying to be a bit more active this year. Said Keith Thurman to PBC podcast. I never got the phone call that I was going to get a summer fight, and they said it was going to get pushed back a little bit more. There you go. I relaxed a little bit more, and I wasn't fully on my weight management the way I wanted to be. Plus, I ended up contracting COVID for a second time. The first time this year, the second time because I had it last year. Why don't you just say I had it twice this year and that year? Quote, 7 days recovery from COVID, ordering Uber Eats, sitting on the couch, not doing nada. I stepped on the scale, and when I recovered, and I was 188 pounds. So got back in the gym the following week, and by the next Friday, I was down to 182. Before I got COVID, they were saying fall. Said Thurman asked when he'd be fight again. Quote, they were saying September, October, and then I started hearing that it might be like October. After October, I'm tired of waiting. So right then and there, he letting you know that the PBC, they don't have the dates. And this what happens when you don't you don't work when everybody else. You burn all the bridges. You burnt the Spike Bridge. You burnt the NBC Bridge. Got Kathy Duva kicked off NBC. This what happened when you burn that bridge, and that's what he did. Now Al Heyman don't want to work with ESPN. Al Heyman don't want to work with the Zone. So he stuck without having dates, and his fighters only get in the ring once or twice. I think Keith Thurman earned respect. If he want to get back in the ring when he want to get back in the ring, he should be able to get back in the ring. And Al Heyman don't even want to rent his fighters out to other networks. Even the less valuable fighters. What is Keith Thurman gonna bring you at this point? A stale Errol Spence fight? Come on. Why don't you let him go take a date up off the zone? But it's all about not building that platform up and not building this platform up. Oh, let's build this platform up. Like I said before, he has a fiduciary duty to the fighters. And what it looked like from the outside looking in, it doesn't look like he's doing what's best for the fighters. That's what I can say. It don't like he's doing best for the fighters. Keith Thurman want to come back in the summer, figure it out. Even if you got to, make Garcia and Jose Benavidez Jr. the co-main event, let Keith be the main event. Or you got to say, Keith, we're going to have to be the co-main event to this. I mean, you got Ray Vargas and Mark Mayaxo headlining the card July 9th. Why can't Keith Thurman headline that card and they can be the co-feature? Come on. Come on. This let you know Al Heyman don't have the dates. Keith Thurman is top 3 or 4 of their biggest name they got over there. But Jake Paul can get a date versus Tommy Fury on Showtime. But Keith Thurman can't. Come on. Let me think about that for a minute. If Floyd May wanted to come back, he could have get a date. Why can't Keith Thurman come get a date when he want to have a date? Bob Brown told Terrence Crawford, you can fight as much as you want. That's why we have the ESPN Plus platform. He told Terrence Crawford, you can fight as much as you want to, bro. And Al Heyman, y'all don't see it, bro. That's why none of his fighters are blossoming and reaching their true potential. It's as simple as that. That's why none of them jokers blossoming and reaching their true potential, because prospects fight once or twice a year. Shouldn't Cobra be ready for a ring return, bro? Say what you want to say. Better BF. He's gonna be fighting 3 times this year. If he make it back to October, when he was with Al Heyman's fight once a blue moon. If Keith Thurman want to fight, if Errol Spence wanted to come back in August, they should make it happen. But that's what happened. You thought, all they fights going on pay-per-view. At some point, some network got to tell them the fight purses don't match the fight budget. It don't. And if, like I said, Keith Thurman been around long enough to deserve a date, bro, when he want a date. And he can't even come back when he want to come back. Let you know everything you need to know. He said, I was looking forward to this October day. I still don't have a legitimate name. So he said, I'm looking forward to this. He said it might be after October. He just said it right here. But he said, I'm looking forward to the October date. I still don't have a legitimate name. I was supposed to get a few names. So anybody that says it's Thurman's next opponent is kind of a rumor, because I was supposed to get a list and I was supposed to go over it with my team. I look forward to getting an actual list of names for true opponents for Keith Thurman next up and coming fight. So all that, he fighting Adrien Ennis and all that, man, do the math. He never wanted to fight Errol Spence. He didn't want to fight Terrence Crawford. He semi-retired. Fought Manny Pacquiao, semi-retired again. So why in the hell would he jump in there with Adrien Ennis? Why? Adrien Ennis looks scarier than both them fighters, bro, right now coming up. You got to remember, he ain't a PBC fighter neither. So they giving him, he taking PBC dates too. Like, come on. This is common sense. This ain't prime Thurman, hungry Thurman. Thurman was just as hungry as Errol Spence was, if not more. Same thing with Errol Spence. He was hungry as hell. Now look at him. Now the consistency changed. And that's one thing I could say about Terrence Crawford. Maybe he deprived of being on the right side of the street, but Errol Spence ain't got them fights neither. He didn't get Keith Thurman. He didn't get Pacquiao. He didn't get Floyd Mayweather. But Terrence Crawford, whatever drives him, his motivation is keeping him hungry. And that's the bad thing about money. When your only motivation is, I'm going to go get this money, I'm going to get this money. Once you got the money, what's next? Most of the people that's not billionaires or who grew up in a rich household or wealthy household, they don't have a mind. They don't have a mindset of more. They have a mindset of, oh, I made it. But it ain't never enough. Didn't Donald Trump bankrupt some stuff? He bankrupted the casino, I believe. And he came from money. So when you think about it, you hear a lot of black people say, well, that's too much money, or this is enough money for me. It ain't never enough. And that's the difference between your average working person and somebody that's the power. Even if they started off with a head start, that no, man, like it's never a limit. It's somebody with more, and you gotta have a hunger for more, bro. You know. He said Thurman was Spence inspiration on how to duck someone. Clarissa said, he said, I've been telling people fighters paying a fee to Al Heyman as an advisor when he's already a promoter and he's looking out for what's best for PBC, not what's his client or fighter. And that's it. Yeah, he's not doing his fiduciary duty. Simple as that. And then he's getting what from 10 to 30 to 20, 22, 23%. That's it. And then these dudes got managers and they got managers that's their father. Why would I need an advisor and a manager? So you paying 20, let's say you paying 10% to him, the lowest fee he take. Then you paying your manager 33 and a third. That's 43% of your purse gone. That's half your purse gone. We ain't even talk taxes. Paying the cut man, paying the trainer. There's a formula to keep boxers broke, just like they keep people in Hollywood broke. Bernardo, salute. What's up, Ricky? Shout out to New York City. So I've been telling people fighters are paying fee. I read that one. He said, salute, CJ. It's hot in Los Angeles. It ain't that hot. It was hot here yesterday. He said, peace everyone. Smash the like button. Click on the link tree and sub to Spotify. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. But she said, I've been telling fighters that they are paying the fee for Al Heyman as an advisor when he's already their promoter. He's looking out for what's best for PBC and not his clients. And everybody know that. And they sign their life away. That's why he take less than the going percentage. Why do you need a manager? You got, I know it's a fighter out here that his daddy get like half his fucking check, bro. He's an active fighter, not Sean Porter. This don't make no sense. I'm paying him. If I'm paying you 22 and 20 to 10% to be my manager, my advisor, you my manager. A lot of these fighters ain't got no money. He said yes, Thurman, when asked if he'd be interested in fighting or Dennis Ugas. He said we can start playing the measuring stick for that purpose. I think it's a good fight. So he started talking about, we can start playing the measuring stick for Ugas. What measuring stick? Well, what's the measuring stick, bro? Like once Crawford and Spence get all the belts, this is nothing else to do. What measuring stick are we talking about? You know, what measuring stick are we talking about? Come on, like, bro, your time passed you by. You beating up Dennis Ugas after Earl Spence really just ran through him like diarrhea. It's no point. What you measuring? Once Spence fight Crawford to get through Crawford get through get through Spence. What do I got to prove versus Keith Thurman? Nothing. You just started 30,000 pay-per-views versus Barrios. Come on, you had your time to take the division by the horns and fight Pacquiao, and you lost. She said paying your promoter to be your advisor is like an artist paying a label to be their lawyer to be their lawyer. But they still paying the promotional fee on top of that. The promotional company got to get a cut. You know, they got to pay the rent for the venue. They take a cut to pay their hotel fees and the accommodations they do for the hotel. So the promoter still get a cut. They also paying the promoter fee. They paying the advisor fee. Some of these niggas got managers, which it just don't make no sense. He said we're just slowly working. I think working on the diet, getting our body moving. We got a lot to do in July here. I think July will be a great month of weight management, and by the end of July, if I can be somewhere from 68 to 165 pounds in preparation for my next training camp, that'd be ideal. He said it's been a long time since I've been under 172, which is 22-pound weight drop. That's my average for most of my fights. For my fight against Pacquiao, it was even worse. I was 182 pounds at the start of camp, so it was a 35-pound weight drop. Quote, that didn't help me in the preparation. That had to focus on so much losing weight rather than strategy of victory. So I've been learning from the past. I have my goals set, and I have plenty of time to accomplish it. So that's why I'm moving now, said Thurman. So he wasn't even ready to fight in the summer regardless, dude. This dude said I was 82 pounds, bro. He said I got up to 188 pounds after having a week of COVID. So he ain't, like I said before, that's why you got to keep your fighters. That's why you got to keep your fighters active, bro. That's why you got to keep your fighters active. If they active and you fighting 3-4 times a year, you ain't got no time to blow up to 188 and come back. Because once I fight in March and I come back and fight, I don't know, in June, I come back and fight in October. And I might come back and fight in December. However it be, I go January, I don't know, June, October, November-ish. Guess what? That's 3 times. I really don't have a lot of time to be bullshitting and eating and doing what I need to do. So, like I said before, man, Al Heyman is destroying his fighters' careers. For one, he don't keep them active. He don't keep the prospects active. For two, he don't challenge the fighters. He don't challenge them. When it's time to make the fights and they supposed to be big fights, they still. So, but nonetheless, we can keep it moving. All right, but then he goes on to say we can go to the actual article. Hold on. So he said that so Keith Thurman says Crawford and Spence holding all the belts hurts the 147-pound division. He says Thurman wants the belts, and if he can get one at 47, I might have to move. If he can't get one at 47, I might have to move up, say Keith Thurman to the PBC podcast, talking about his unhappiness with the titles at 147 being controlled by Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. He says, for 2 champions, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, to be holding on all 4 belts right now, it just hurts the welterweight division as far as making some of the most exciting fights. That's just the caliber of competition that we have in the welterweight division, said Keith Thurman. He said, I believe a lot of fighters could be champions if there wasn't an Errol Spence or Bud Crawford currently holding on to all the belts. If all the belts was free floating out there, we'd have a lot of young champions out there, and there would be a lot of new action. We just have to wait and see what manifests in the welterweight division, how we get past this generation of everybody fighting for the crown. He said, it's not that I'm running away from the welterweight division. I'd be happy to jump back down in the welterweight division, but I'm all about good fights and the proper timing. I've seen his record, and I don't know who he's beaten. He also has a record that makes mine, said Thurman about Jerron Bruce Ennis. He had tons of fights, but I still don't see who he's fought or anybody. So we're going to hold on to what he said about Jerron Ennis for a minute. So he got the audacity to say that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence held up the welterweight division, right? When he easily could have got back in there, beat Manny Pacquiao, been consistent, came back. Even if he lost to Pacquiao, he could have came back, got a fight, fought Dennis Ugas, came back, fought Errol Spence to put himself in the mix. So he the one that held the WBC and the WBA title, and then he ran overseas, running after his wife to be, and then he came back, fought Pacquiao, and then went back to his ways. He the one that did that. Ain't nobody tell Keith Thurman to do that. Keith Thurman the one that ran and kept doing the same thing, that didn't want to fight, didn't want to be inactive. And only person that you can blame that on is Al Heyman. That's it. That's the only person you can blame it on. Al Heyman. Al Heyman. Al Heyman didn't deliver him Paulo Malignaggi. He didn't deliver Adrien Broner. He didn't deliver a number of marquee fights. Amir Khan. He didn't deliver Marcos Maidana. He didn't deliver Devin Alexander. Didn't deliver Tim Bradley. Didn't deliver Kell Brook. And then he only delivered Sean Porter when Sean Porter was stripped of a belt. Now, he said, I think it'd be a lot of champions. You don't have to be a championship on the line for it to be a big fight. Him and Sean Porter didn't have a belt on the line. A regular WBA ain't a belt. So him and Sean Porter didn't have a belt on the line. Now, him and Danny Garcia, that was a unification bout, and that was the time that his belt went from a Reggie belt to a super belt when Floyd officially, truly got out the way. So, like I said before, you held up the division for 2 years when you could have relinquished the WBC belt and kept it moving. You could have relinquished the WBA. You gave it to Pacquiao. You the reason Dennis Ugas got put in the mix. So you messed around and you allowed for that to happen. And now you saying they holding up the division. Errol Spence got into a car accident, came back almost a year later. Then he turned around and came back tore his retina. Right? Then he came back, 6-7 months later, whatever it was. And he still beat you, damn near beat you back to the ring. You did come back in February, but like I said before, Errol Spence, he's made it in time for, and back for strippage not to be questioned, to be a real possibility, or you should relinquish. You held your arm in your hand. It took you forever to come back. So holding up the division, man, is crazy. Because you had an opportunity to fight Terrence Crawford. You asked for $10 million. Come on. And I guarantee you got nowhere near $10 million to fight Mario Barrios. You could have got a belt. You could have put yourself in the mix. You could have fought Dennis Ugas. You could have fought Manny Pacquiao in a rematch. You could have fought Dennis Ugas, but you wasn't in shape. Keith Thurman was hurt in the welterweight division too when he was champion. Facts. At least Earl Spence is keeping the division moving. He keeping the division fluid. Keith Thurman kept the division stagnant, constipated. Come on. He keeping it stagnant. At least Earl Spence is staying active, mandatory, unification bout. You know what I'm saying? So whatever else come now, it is what it is. You got to be used to the people, the premier boxing champions, still not giving you the fights that you want to see. You can turn around and say, well, this fight was its prime, it's happening when it's supposed to happen. No, it's not. Terrence Crawford is what, 34 years old? Be 34, 35 by the time this fight happened. So how? How? Errol Spence went through a windshield. You got people convince yourself that after the fight, they'll be the same people that's saying what I'm saying. This fight still ain't happening when it's supposed to happen. Man, imagine if these fighters and the handlers were handling Thomas Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard and Duran and Benita. Them niggas never would have fought each other. And they'd rather lose money than do what's traditionally and what's ethically right to the boxing fans. They'd rather continue to lose money. They'd rather continue to lose and instead of just caving and saying, you know what, let's give the fans the best fights and let's see if they react. It took Keith Thurman. Look here, you can say he fought Sean, Danny Garcia. Those are good fights, but it took Keith Thurman his whole career to land the fight that he truly wanted in Manny Pacquiao. Chris is saying no one getting a belt at 47 to the winner. Bud Spence moves up. And I agree. But saying somebody holding the division up because now you read like, bro, you literally just was 200 pounds, bro. From COVID. You literally was 200 pounds. Keith Thurman literally is slipping back to his old ways. He should just seriously go into retirement. But jump up to 54. I mean, that's interesting when you talk about Keith Thurman jumping to the 154-pound ram. Because a lot of these premier boxing champions, you got to drag them to another weight class. You got to drag them to another weight class. He probably got a better opportunity to win the belt up here. You got guys back around Montevelli, he the mandatory, Israel Madamov, Errol Spence. Jamil Charlo probably moving up. Fondora, Tim Tszyu might get a belt. Who knows? Liam Smith. So he probably got a better opportunity than fighting Jerron Boots Ennis. And I told y'all he wasn't going to fight no Boots. That was common sense. Everybody and their mama knew he wasn't going to fight no Boots. If he wouldn't fight a young Errol Spence, why the hell would he fight Jerron Ennis? If he wouldn't fight Terrence Crawford for a world title, why would he fight Jerron Ennis? Same thing with Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia fought everybody but Terrence Crawford. He'd rather move up to 154 pounds to fight Terrence Crawford for a belt. You'd rather fight Jose Benavidez than get a belt. When you tired of fighting top opposition for top belts and top money, you want to fight lower opposition for solid money and no belts and prove nothing, it's time to retire. Same thing for Keith Thurman. What is next fight going to tell us? Nothing. No, whoever you fight, it ain't going to tell us nothing that we already don't know about Keith Thurman at the welterweight division. It's time for Keith Thurman to retire, walk away from the sport. There's nothing else you can prove if you ain't gonna go to 54 and try to get a title. These dudes want to be career welterweights. Move up. Go chase greatness. You know, move up. It's like it's an unspoken law, like, you know, moving up is bad in the PBC realm of things. Move up. Come on. Move up, but nonetheless, we get back to what he was saying. So he said Thurman wants a belt, and if he can't get one at 47, I might move up. Keith Thurman said the PBC podcast talking about. Okay, I read that. Let's see what he started talking about. Adrien in his head. All right, he says that he said I believe a lot of fighters could be okay. Read that one. He said I seen his record. I don't know who he's beaten. He also has a record that matches mine. Said Thurman, as far as, you know, numbers about Adrien Business. He had tons of fights, but I still don't see who he's fought anybody. Quote, he's a tremendous talent, but I don't think it's going to take a world-class fighter like myself to do something against Boots. So he said, but I do think it's going to take a world-class fighter like myself to do something against Adrien Ennis. He says, as dominant as he's been, you can't put anybody against him, said Thurman. So, you know, he acknowledged, he said that, you know, he's going to take a world-class fighter to hang Jermaine. But, you know, he get to talk about moving up and talking about how his record ain't that good. And that's when you put your foot in your mouth. When you start talking about, you know, you start punching holes in his resume, then people going to say, well, if he ain't that good, why don't you jump in the ring with him? That's exactly what people are going to start saying. A lot of the same people that's going to support Earl Spence ducking and dodging, they're going to ask, you know, Keith Thurman to do something that they wouldn't ask Earl Spence to do. Same thing. How can you support Keith Thurman and then not support Keith Thurman and turn around and support Earl Spence? Okay. You're gonna have to drag that nigga in the ring for him to fight Bud. I'm telling y'all, he don't want that fight. He don't want that fight. And that's just the real deal Holyfield on it. Keith Thurman and Earl Spence, the same person. They ain't grow up in the hood. Right? They ain't street. You know, none of that, bro. So, you know, of course he gonna poke holes and say, you know, he ain't fought nobody. Well, you could be somebody on that resume. But like I said before, Earl Spence at a young age, who had a bigger fan base at this point, Adrien Ennis do. Adrien got more fights. You know, if he wouldn't fight Earl Spence, who, matter of fact, was co-signed by Floyd Mayweather, why the hell would he fight Adrien Boots Ennis for nothing? That makes no sense. So he ain't got no choice. You're going to fight Boots for short money, or you going to move up and fight the 54-pound, which I think is better bet to fight some of the 54-pound fighters. Thurman gets stopped by 54, but I don't want to say he gets stopped by anybody. There's some guys he could beat up there. So it's some guys he definitely could beat up there, bro. But it's going to be interesting because they're going to go for his belt and they're bigger, stronger. If I'm Erickson Lubin, if I want to come back, I'd love to come back versus somebody like Keith Thurman. I'd love to come back versus somebody like Keith Thurman. That's butter, baby. What my man say on State Property, butter, baby. That's butter. That's butter. I'd love to come back versus somebody like Keith Thurman if I was Erickson Lubin. That's damn near as good as a world title fight. That's damn good as a world title fight. So, yeah, man. Like I said before, man, he remained relevant by some of this stuff doing the PBC podcast. He wanted to come back in the summer. Al Heyman couldn't accommodate him to come back in the summer, and that's just the story of PBC fighters. The reason they fighters get beat up by Top Rank, they don't know how to groom them the right way. And then you want to ask Keith Thurman to fight Adrien Ennis when he was Adrien Ennis. Y'all couldn't get nobody to fight him. Couldn't pay nobody to fight him. Couldn't pay a champion to fight. You got to understand, Keith Thurman was not a world title, wasn't a world title holder until he fought Danny Garcia. You got to understand, when Sean Porter had the IBF belt, he refused to fight Keith Thurman. Come on, let's just go through the process. So you got to understand Keith Thurman pain. Errol Spence doing the same shit. The only difference is he has to fight Terrence Crawford based on what he said in the fast. When Terrence Crawford walked away from Top Rank scot-free with no lawyers involved, he knew he had to go see him. Their plan was going to be fight Pacquiao, get the ring belt on the line, and then he was going to walk away to the 154-pound division. That's exactly what it was. So you can talk all you want to talk about Keith Thurman. You can say this about Keith Thurman, but old boy doing the exact same thing. The only difference is Terrence Crawford, the dog, got out the cage. He don't want to fight Terrence Crawford, and everybody know it. His fans can sit here and they can say what they want to say. They can lie and say what they want to say. He didn't want to fight him either. He did the same shit. Ran down on Sean, ran down on Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? It was time to fight Bud for many years. He started shaking and rattling, tap dancing, and didn't want to fight him. Ain't none of this shit happen in a timely manner, bro. None of it. And then they tell you to build it up. When you build it up, then they still say it's financially not enough money in the fight. Like, get the hell up all out of here, bro. This fight should have been happening in the middle of summer, bro. This fight should have been going down in August. Errol Spence and Ugas should have been back in the ring, by February, March, and they should be going into a summer fight. Ain't nothing going on in the summer. You're gonna wait to the heart of the most expensive time of the year to put that fight on there. I mean, like I told y'all, Al Heyman don't have a clue about what he's doing, bro. He don't have a clue. And the reason this fight didn't happen a lot earlier is because his Errol Spence rinky-dink ass fans never called a spade a spade. Had they been talking crazy, like, man, Spence better get in there with him. Spence better fight him, man. Like, man, Spence, we wait, nigga. Like, come on, man. We believe in you, but it's getting shaky. Then he would have had another choice. He probably would have stepped in the ring with him before he fought Ugas. But it was like, I don't need Terrence Crawford. They were saying, well, yeah, man, Errol Spence don't need Terrence Crawford. Whatever he was saying, they was riding with. But then people want to get mad at Keith Thurman and shit. Keith Thurman was in a position before Errol Spence was in a position, getting hefty paydays because they couldn't get the fighters to get in the ring with him. Al Heyman got all this power but can't force nobody to fight. It's crazy. It's crazy. Couldn't make Mayweather fight him. Couldn't get a Bradley fight. Couldn't get a Kell Brook fight. Couldn't even get Sean Porter to fight when he had the world title. Keith Thurman was the one that was the A-side when he fought Sean Porter. When Sean Porter had nothing to offer, Sean Porter jumped in the ring with him. And that's why Sean Porter got beat up by Kell Brook. Exactly why. They would say, oh, no, we ain't trying to fight him. But then Keith had something to get. Keith should have been turning the other cheek, bro. Keith Thurman was getting treated the same way Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was treated in this very same division, bro. And now, now we at the end of the crossroads and stuff now. And all we got to do is close the deal. Well, come on, let's hurry up and close the deal. However you look at this fight, it's an argument to be made that Terrence Crawford is behind the 8-ball. As far as age, he on the wrong side of 30. Same thing for Errol Spence. Weight, he been at the weight this long. He went to a car accident. He hurt his eye. This is so many excuses. So many excuses already. So many excuses to be made. You got Errol Spence saying, which fight's happening? He looked good his last fight. It wasn't like he went out there and fought Bruce Lee, my nigga. It ain't like he even went out there and fought Keith Thurman. He went out there and he fought Dennis Ugas, who fought a washed-up Pacquiao, who barely beat a washed-up Pacquiao according to the scorecard. So, I said before, expecting Keith Thurman to get in there and tussle with Adrien Ennis is tough to ask. You want him to pass the torch when nobody passed the torch to him. He had to get his the hard way. Same thing for Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford. The only difference between the three is Terrence Crawford remained hungry. And I think he remained hungry because he didn't have a silver spoon in his mouth coming into the game. And also the people never flocked to him the way fans flocked to Keith Thurman, the way fans flocked to Errol Spence. And maybe that's the Mayweather effect. Maybe that's the Premier Boxing Champions effect. But, the fans never flocked to Terrence Crawford that way. And in a way, he should be blessed that happened, because that gave him something to strive for. You know, Crawford is different because he rising through the ranks and he's still taking chances. Earl Spence rose through the ranks. He stopped taking chances the bigger the fights got. You know, Thurman rose through the ranks, stopped taking chances the bigger the fights. So the bigger they wallets got, the bigger they bank accounts got, the bigger they rims got, the bigger they families got, the more files they had to feed, retiring their parents, whatever it may be, the less chances and the less risk they take. Terrence Crawford is still taking risks. Terrence Crawford go out there and do the same thing they doing. Dance, box, move in and out, win a decision, and go in there. You know, but him not having popular opinion and him not, you know, being, you know, the fighters fan or the fans fighters or the media's darling, whatever like that. I think the blessing, the positive thing about it is that he got to go out there and he got to strive for greatness, bro. That the bar set so high when people don't like you, or you don't get the media love or the media respect. So you got to go out there and outperform every time. Every time you got to go out there, you got to perform your ass off. So, you know, his hunger, his drive is something that you don't really see. You know, Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson had a Floyd Mayweather guy, and I think Floyd Mayweather just loved having an undefeated record. When Keith Thurman got on top of the welterweight division, not even completely on top, when he was halfway up the mountain, he slid down the mountain. Earl Spence, you know, he got a belt versus Kell Brook. You know what I'm saying? You know, he was defending a little bit. Then down the road, you know, he fought Mikey Garcia. He got inactive. You know, he was inactive before the Kell Brook fight. He was inactive and he lost the hunger. Started cashing checks, started, you know, getting street fame and shit like that. So, you know, it's hard, man. PBC don't know how to keep their fighters fully engaged. He said Spence fans blame Top Rank, but at the same time say Spence had a plan to unify all the belts on his side of the street first. And it wasn't Top Rank fight, because if Top Rank was involved in this fight would sell a lot more, and this fight would have been got done. Simple as that. You know, without, you know, the Top Rank coming to the table, do Fury and Wilder get the purses that they got? What was the first purse they got for the first fight? It was nothing like the second two fights. So you can say what you want to say, but until Top Rank got involved, Deontay Wilder didn't start making that amount of money, or Tyson Fury didn't start making the amount of money they made. ESPN and Top Rank and Frank Warren just put up $43+ million for Fury and Dillian White. That's more than enough to accommodate for Spence and Spence and Crawford. Dr. Pablo Salute. It's more than enough money to accommodate for them, bro. And as much as these fighters and these fans put faith in PBC, show me another Floyd Mayweather. Show me somebody that's comparable or closer. Don't give me, oh, it's the digital era and all that. Show me. Show me. Show me. Show me. They've never done it before. They never did it with Floyd Mayweather. Top Rank did that with Floyd Mayweather. It was Top Rank. Top Rank laid the groundwork out for Floyd Mayweather. Top Rank the one that built Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Jay Prince, Top Rank. Shit, even Golden Boy had a better hand than Al Heyman. Al Heyman handled the business end and the financial end on the business end. Fine. But you know, that's what it's just showing that they can't replicate what they did with Floyd Mayweather. Can't even do it. Can't even do it halfway close. Because from a boxing standpoint of view, you know, they don't believe in making the best versus the best. Salute, bro. They don't believe in making the best versus the best. They wasted Keith Thurman's career. They wasted Earl Spence's career. They wasting the Charlo's career. The Charlo twin fought for all the belts, and they was letting people in that damn fight for free. Ain't nobody buy no tickets. He said he got paid $10 million, and I heard he really got paid $10 million. Want to know why this company falling in flux? It's falling in malarkey is because of shit like that. Can't sell out at home, can't sell out in LA, but he made $10 million. Come on. Come on. How does that work? How does that work? You know, you sign your life over to Al Heyman, then when you want to switch gears, you want to go cross promotion like Gary Russell and Adrien Broner, Al Heyman won't let you. And they both be saying, we just loyal to Al Heyman and we just diss to Al Heyman and whatever the situation may be. Then, you know, loyalty only goes so far when it comes to paying the bills. Go sign with somebody else. They can't. They can't. They are forever linked to Al Heyman. Don't even matter. They are forever tied to Al Heyman. Have you ever seen somebody leave Premier Boxing Champions? That's a big name. That still ain't work. Whoever left? Mayweather never left. 50 Cent tried to get Mayweather. He never left. Earl never left. Keith never left. Who left? Bernard Hopkins is the only person I could think about who left. Come on. Come on. So that is what it is. Gonna move over to Canelo in a minute. But let's move over to Canelo. I'll be done with this shit, man. Apparently WBC still say he got Canelo number one pound for pound. And like I said, it's his list, but you already know, Canelo in their back pocket. They tried to rob Dimitri Bivol. They didn't. People turned. I seen Shakur Stevenson did an interview on Fight Hub and said, well, Canelo's still number two because he moved up and took a risk. This, that, and the third. I disagree with that shit right there, but it seemed like you got to kiss Canelo ass to be in good standards. You lost. Not only did you lose, nigga, like it ain't like he just got caught. Like, damn, he got caught. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even like he got caught. No, that wasn't the case. He got outboxed for 12 rounds. It wasn't like he got outboxed by a super big light heavyweight. It wasn't like that was a fight that the fans demanded. It was nothing like that. He picked and chose Dimitri Bivol. Nobody put a pistol to his head and made him pick and choose Dimitri Bivol. Nobody. Y'all can see Keith and Danny 2 at 30. Y'all can see that. Danny been talking about it. He said, I heard they gave away a lot of tickets for the Spence. Yeah, they did. Tickets like $32 to $42, bro. The lowest. Al Heyman got the fighter signed 360 deals. He definitely do. And none of them know how to handle their business. No, none of them know how to handle their business. He said they took Rigo off the pound for pound list when he moved up and lost to Lomachenko. Clarissa, that's a great point. They did. Stripped him of his other belts, too. Come on. So it's always a different set of rules for Canelo Alvarez. Always a different set of rules. And not only did he lose, he dominated. A lot of people had it 10-2. 8-4 at the closest I've seen, I can really kind of believe. And it wasn't even that close. So come on. But he said, I have Canelo as a number one pound for pound, but the pound for pound list is very fun game. Suleiman told Planet Sport. But now for those who take it very seriously, they have to be struggling very hard this year. We've had results that are unbelievable. Of course, Canelo losing, Tyson Fury making a statement, Jermell Charlo becoming undisputed, Devin Haney becoming undisputed, and Inoue with an unbelievable demonstration, Arthur Better BF with the unbelievable demonstration, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. There are so many great fighters out there, and if you talk about women, there's an unbelievable quality and talent. So for those who enjoy doing the pound for pound, they're going to have a good time, but it's very challenging time because it's not easy. There are so many great fighters out there that can claim to be pound for pound kings. King, quote, as I said, if you look at the list, Neway, Haney, but you know, Canelo, is unfair to simply just drop him out. He lost a fight that he didn't need to take. He moved up in weight, but I still think, you know, he has been there for several years, and it's so easy just to throw them out. But I don't like to be that way. My thing is this: yeah, fight that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for. Nobody asked for you to go take that fight. You went out your way not to fight Benavidez. You went out your way not to fight Charlo. You called out better BF and then didn't fight him. Tried to lowball Joe Smith Jr. You know, so we can go on and on. We can go on and on. On and on and on and on and on. So he doing unbelievable things that nobody told him to do. Really tried to go up and fight McAboo, and he would have probably got stretched. No, that's just not how it goes. When you lose, you drop. He lost to a guy that was nowhere near anybody's pound for pound list. When he lost, then everybody started bigging up Dimitri Bivol, saying how great of a fighter he is, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Canelo's biggest wins are all controversial. He's a controversial fighter. And he allegedly got his fights hot wired. So think about that for him. And he allegedly, like, you know, putting rehydration clauses on cats, and he's still not getting all these dudes out of here. Fought Kovalev, drained Kovalev, made Kovalev do a quick turnaround. Come on, but these fighters, you know, they fight, they need the money. You ain't gonna find that amount of money nowhere else in one single fight in most of these divisions. But how can you lose? And I see people doing lists and got Canelo above Dimitri Bivol. Like, it wasn't like he lost a close fight or got caught with a shot. He literally lost damn near every round. How can you be a pound for pound king? It ain't been another pound for pound king who lost more rounds than Canelo Alvarez. Never. There's never been a pound for pound king who lost more rounds than Canelo Alvarez. It hasn't. So how can he be pound for pound when he got 10-2 by Dimitri Bivol? How can you have him above Dimitri Bivol? You can't. I don't care about his accomplishments. Well, you only as good as your last fight is what people saying. He got obliterated. Then when you go down, you don't go down and fight Benavidez. You don't go down and fight Jamar Charlo or something like that, who a guy who was your mandatory, and they gave you the franchise belt. When you talk about, he got the judges, the officials, the WBC, the sanction belt bodies hanging from his every move. So, I mean, what you expect? To beat Canelo, you're going to have to either knock him out or do what Dimitri Bivol did. And they still try to take it from him. Everybody know he's a fraud when it comes to boxing. He's a fraud. He's a big fraud. Because if he didn't have all this pageantry, if he didn't have the judges, the officials, the money behind him, the networks, the belts behind him, he'd be a 5-fighter loss. He'd be a 5-loss fighter. Probably be a 10-loss fighter if we're being real. He'd at least be a fighter with 5 losses who wouldn't be worth the goddamn boxing food stamp. Just being real, he wouldn't be worth nothing. And then everybody turn around and they see what happened. They turn around and kissed his ass. Well, I still got Canelo number 2. Based on what? How can you put him above a guy who whooped his ass? How? Not just whooped him like this, like, come on. And then he don't turn around and run him back. He ain't really fight to run that shit back with him. He wasn't really fighting to run him back, bro. He didn't really want to get back in the ring with that killer, bro. He didn't, dude. Let's be real. He didn't. He didn't. And WBC president, who's supposed to be, who's supposed to be unbiased and try to be middleman and want the best for boxing, hanging on his nuts because he didn't send his kids to college. He didn't pay his mortgage over 10 times. He didn't make Mauricio Suleiman a really good dude. You know, when he popped Ty Suleiman, it had shit negative to say about him. Nothing negative to say about him. You know, Canelo's a good fighter, and he's an extraordinary fighter. And then you got these other black fighters who kiss Canelo ass. They had diss Terrence Crawford in a minute, but turn around and kiss Canelo ass. Come on. Come on. But y'all got any questions? I'll answer them real quick and I'm moving on. I ain't gonna keep doing lives. It just don't make no sense for me right now. Ain't nothing really to talk about. I could be playing Donkey Kong Country on my Super Nintendo. Come on. He said, hold on, man. It's joint. He said Canelo got beat. Yeah, he got beat on, man. It wasn't nothing, just the fact that I was surprised they didn't take the fight away from him. That's all. I was surprised. So appearing Omarion and Mario battling today. I think Pleasure P and somebody else battling somebody else. Versus is lame. I don't like none of the matchups that they putting out. None of them. I don't even watching no more. It's cool during the pandemic, but all the matches you want to see, they refuse to make them. Well, whoever asked for Marion versus Mario, not a nigga in the world. I don't even think they got enough songs. Motherfuckers probably gonna be redoing songs over and over again. Get a New Way and Loma Otter. A New Way gotta be on there, bro. Nice. He real nice. Lomachenko can go, but a New Way nice. You can't even hold that against the dude. He nice. He can fight. So, mm, Chris Brown Usher would be good. Yeah, it'd be good. But Chris Brown don't make R&B music. It'd be like a pop star against a R&B star. That's the difference. Usher got a little pop to him too. But they talking about Jake Paul and Tommy Fury done. I told y'all that months ago. Who ordering that bullshit? They got money and dates to get Jake Paul, but can't get Keith Thurman back when he's gonna get back in the summer. Wow. Jewels and Lloyd Banks sound good. Man, they got enough songs. Shit. I guess they got their group songs. I guess you're right. He is. He said MOP and Onyx. Yeah, Onyx just battled Cypress Hill, which was just not a good mesh of concept. But yeah. And the up, blah, blah. That's a perfect matchup. Who Rolly fight next? Who cares? Shit, hopefully retirement. All right, y'all try to make it seem like Rolly was, better than what he was, and I told y'all he wasn't that good. That was common sense. What's that song about? The dude that in the game said he ran up and beat Spider Elementary. That's what it was. Scarface and Ice Cube. I'm good on that. Let me see Ice Cube battle somebody like Ice T, Jay-Z. Scarface should battle somebody like, I don't know. He one of the GOATs. It'd be interesting. He got an interesting style. I don't know. He had to battle somebody like, I don't know. Jay might be a little bit too commercial. Ice Cube would have to be like somebody like Ice T, LL Cool J. I don't know. LL. I don't know. Scarface a tough matchup. He said I was there. He hit Rolly with the upper room. Everybody knew that was happening. Everybody knew that was happening. Everybody knew. He said if a new white fold, and I respect that. Yeah, he good. That's a good fight. What you expect? A real good fight. He might turn low. He might turn Fold lights out, but he ain't never seen nobody like Fold, and that's gonna be interesting. Cause ain't too many fighters with that slick style. Christmas. He said being Scarface versus C. Gotta be interesting. They got a songs together, I believe. But Scarface might be too powerful for him. But he might be a little bit too powerful for him. So I have to really think. Scarface and Nas would be fun. That's about who we should battle, Nas. Nas. Nas or somebody from the Wu-Tang clan. Anybody on the West Coast, that'd be interesting. Him and Game would be fun, low key. That'd be a fun matchup. But nonetheless, I'm out of here. Appreciate y'all. Peace.